Fairies join us for story time. Once upon a time, in a village, there was a child called Little John. He was living with his mother, and the thing that he loved the most in the fall was to eat apples. He liked to cut them in two to see the beautiful star that the seeds could create. Sometimes the star was big, sometimes was small, sometimes were round and sometimes not. One year, his mother decided to keep the seeds from the apples for the springtime. He kept them through the winter, and when the springtime arrived, she took his son. My dear son, I really want to show you how to plant the seeds. Together, they took the seeds that were kept through the winter. I'm now going to show you. We first need to do a hole, then we need to put a little seed inside the hole, cover it with soft ground, and we put water. Once they did that, the rest was done mainly by nature. The warmth of the spring and summer, the rain that came down, and soon they had a little sapling coming up. Since that day, Little John decided to keep his seeds. All the apples he would eat, he would keep the seeds inside. So he asked his mother, "My dear mother, I don't have where to keep the seeds of the apples. Are you able to make me a little bag?" And the mother took a piece of cloth and sew and sew and sew. And then she did a little bag for him. Very happy Juanito kept all the seeds that was collecting inside a little bag, but got full. So he said to his mother, "My dear mother, my sack is now full. Are you able to make one that is as big as the palm of my hand?" And she took a bigger piece of cloth and she sewed and sewed and sewed and sewed and sewed. It was bigger. So he suddenly had a bigger sack. The sack got full, and by that time Juanito, Little John, was asking all his neighbors and all his friends and family members to give him all the seeds from all the apples they were eating. So this time his bag was full much faster. And then Little John had to ask his mother, "My dear mom, can you make me a bigger bag? This time I need one that will come from the end of my hand up to my elbow." And the mom took a bigger piece of cloth and sewed 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 and sewed. And then he had a bigger bag. With the years, that bag was also full. So he asked his mother, "My dear mom, I would love now to have a sack that is as long as my whole arm, from the end of my finger up to my shoulder." And the mom, very happy always to help, took a bigger piece, much bigger this time, piece of fabric, and sewed 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 until the bag was done. The years passed and he grew older. He was now a young man and his sack was full. He took that sack full of seeds and he decided to start a trip. "My dear mother, with all the seeds I have kept, I really would like to just plant them wherever I walk by. I really want other people to enjoy apples the same way we do. I'm going on my trip, I will be back." And with lots of love, they say goodbye to each other. So he started his way through the forest that was by his house. Through the forest, through, walking goes little Johnny with his little seeds. Clip-a-clap-a, clip-a-clap, with his little seeds. And in the forest, he planted seeds wherever he went. He was thinking of all the hikers that might be going to the forest and find later on those trees full of apples, and how magnificent a snack that could be. So he continued when he finished his work through the mountain. Through the mountain, through goes little Johnny with his little seeds. Clip-a-clap, clip-a-clap, with his little seeds. And there, in the mountain, he also planted lots and lots of seeds. And very happily of thinking of all the children that would be walking through the mountain and all the trees that they could climb now, he continued his way through the meadows. Through the meadows, through goes little Johnny with his little seeds. And there he also planted more and more seeds, thinking of all the people walking by that will have something to eat in the future. And then he went down, until he reached to the sea, and he realized he couldn't go farther. And then he saw that he only had one more seed, so he planted it by the sea. And he went back again home through the same way that he started his trip. So he went through the meadow, and he found that the trees that he had planted were as big as the palm of his hand. He continued walking through the mountain, and there the trees were already as tall as half of his arm. And then he continued down the forest, and there the trees were very tall, were as tall as his whole arm. Soon he was arriving to his home, and his mother had a surprise for him. When he arrived from the forest and he saw his mother, he was so happy. "My dear mother, I'm so happy to see you." "Oh, my dear child, I'm so happy you're back. Look at this magnificent tree. Try one of the apples. This is the tree we planted together." Little John tried it and ate that apple. It was so juicy and delicious. He was so happy to know that from now on, so many people would enjoy so many apples as he did. And this story has reached to the end. Join us another time again.